Let's have it first. Sweet 16 appearance last season and really coming on strong late after an 0-5 start in league play. Brazil in the post, the jump hook is short. And the rebound cleared by Southern. Starting five for the Jaguars, led by Mike Jacobs, first team all SWAC. And the leading scorer coming back from last year's squad.
They'll look to see Southern play complementary style of basketball. They'll be methodical on the half-court set and make sure they get their defense set.
Abdul Gowad, the spin and the finish, and the Jags on the scoreboard first. Starting five for Arkansas, two five-star prospects. One will come off the bench in Malik Thomas, Darius Acuff Jr., who we talked about, an approved outside jumper for Billy Richmond, and a host of other Hogs as we jump into this season. DeBoll, the fadeaway from 15, no good. What's it like as a player, like those early jitters when you start a season, Richard?
Well, you have just got to settle down, and when you get a chance to settle down after the first media timeout, then you really catch your breath. It's so much adrenaline going. It's hard to kind of settle in and get things going in the beginning of the season. As you can see, a little bit sloppy with the play early on.
Brazil for three from the corner.
There's a big shot by Trevin Brazil, and that's how you get the jitters knocked out as he lines one up from the corner.
It's a new haircut, it's a new number, and a new Brazil perhaps in 2025-26.
Well, sometimes it takes a change in the offseason to get yourself to be the best version of you. Trevin Brazil, a big-time player, and here he is showing what we can do early on.
There's a steal by DJ Wagner. And Wagner comes up short in transition. Jaguars will clear it. Opening night of college basketball, Mike Jacobs couldn't get the bounce, and the rebound cleared by Nick Pringle, the transfer from South Carolina via Alabama. Wagner, left-handed delivery.
There's an end-to-end ability of DJ Wagner. Shifty coming down in transition, finishing with the left hand.
5-2 Razorbacks. DeBoll, no. Brazil, yes. Grabbed it right off the rim. Wagner from downtown.
Good find to DJ Wagner. He's hit a wide open three. Southern has to make sure that they're disciplined in their transition defense as Arkansas is looking to come out and run.
Off the bounce, off the glass, and too strong, and a foul on the rebound by Acuff. Well, Jags led by head coach Kevin Johnson, who is not a part of this trip for Southern due to an illness, and so Jethro Hillman has taken over as a result, and they're expecting Coach Kevin Johnson to return as he gains health and strength, and we certainly hope everything is okay with Coach Johnson. We were informed of that earlier this morning, and now the debut of one Malik Thomas, another five-star backcourt mate of Darius Acuff Jr.
A highly touted freshman who's been tremendous in the two exhibition games. And there you see right there, another freshman is Acuff Jr. finishing high off the glass with the left hand.
Efficient start for the Hogs, a 10-2 advantage, 4 of 7 from the floor.
And this is the two-way ability that you see of Arkansas. Is able to jump into a little bit of pressure.
And you notice the length of Arkansas this year and the bigs and how they move laterally and in and out of traffic. They're going to be a tough out for anybody on the schedule. And by the way, the schedule is very tough. We'll get into that later.
Well, this is a team that's healthy. You know, you talk to people around the building, they talk about how good the offseason was for Arkansas, and here they are off to running.
Richmond, the rejection, the steal by Acuff, and a scrum with a dish to Thomas. Richmond on the move, and fouled on the way up. Entertaining start. You watch the two exhibition wins for the Hogs against Cincinnati and Memphis. The two wins were a combined 20 dunks and a lot of lobs and a lot of athleticism and a lot of flying around. And it's a reason why Coach Cal was smiling a lot today at shoot-around. And when you talk to him in preseason, he likes the hand that he's been dealt and the job that he did and the staff did on the recruiting trails.
Well, Arkansas has been showing how the recruitment has definitely been paying off. And they've been able to get the ball off the boards in the exhibition games. 21 points in the fast break against Memphis in their last exhibition. This is a team, if you're playing against the Razorbacks, you have to make sure you get a quality shot and set up your defensive transition. If not, they will make you pay.
Rondé Hill checking in for the first time for Southern. Transfer out of Henderson State, who has shown some explosiveness in the preseason. Malik Ewan checking in, the Florida State transfer as well, as Pringle gets an early breather. Now, Florida State, one of the longest, tallest teams in America last year. Ewan a part of that at 6'10". Shot 60% from the floor for then head coach Leonard Hamilton.
He's going to bring a much needed level of experience and versatility. Not only does he have great low post moves and soft hands, but he's a good decision maker on the perimeter, can make passes from the high post, get to the free throw line and knock them down, gives them the inside presence to complement the guard play. And this is the part right here where Southern really is going to have to bear down and execute. After the made free throw, Arkansas getting in the press, they're going to have to break this press collectively and see if they can get a quality shot.
Jacobs draw the contact. Joe Lindsay leading this veteran officiating crew tonight. And free throws coming for the all-SWAC performer Mike Jacobs. You were never nervous on opening night, though, right?
Never.
I mean, you were calm.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's the best time to be. I mean, you've been waiting to play. You've been beating each other up in camp all summer long. You get a chance to play against someone else. And when you get a chance to do that, it's an exciting time, and you got to deliver.
See Jacobs' numbers from a year ago. Atlanta native, too strong on the free throw. 70% at the line in 2024-25. Arkansas in the midst of a quick 12-0 burst after trailing early. One of two at the stripe.
Jacobs a strong-bodied guard, but this made free throw allows them to give a chance to get back, set up their defense. They're going to have to put together a string of stops.
Acuff tried to go off glass. Ewan on the offensive glass. Wagner, how about the rotation of the basketball? Thomas is short. Ewan claims the rebound again and was hacked.
That's one of those frustrating possessions right there for Southern. You do an excellent job of rotating and communicating defensively, not able to clean up the possession with a defensive rebound. Ewan activities in the low post and getting the offensive board and another crack at it.
Jacobs picks up his first, and Mike Jacobs heads to the bench. Now, the one word that we heard to describe Thomas and Acuff, smooth and confident, and right on cue, Malik Thomas, his first bucket.
And a beautiful execution on that baseline out-of-bounds play. Thomas doing a great job of utilizing the screen of Ewan and knocking it down.
Southern responds on the other end. Shody connects from downtown. 15-6, 4 minutes in. And the lob, Ewan, was too high. Southern with a steal. Deep three from Hill.
And that is in the range of Rondé Hill. He comes across half court. When he sees a peak, he'll let it fly and can get hot. This has been a game off to a hot start for the Rays team down the stretch. They started out 0-5 in SEC play, had some injuries, but they were able to rally the troops and get things going, moving into the SEC tournament and in a run into the NCAA tournament. This team is looking to continue the momentum that they had at the end of last year.
I mean, it was surprising how it went down, right? I mean, there were some games where it felt like Cal could probably only put 7 or 8 players out there on the court with the injuries and everything that happened. And that 0-5 start yielding a fantastic finish. And at the very end, the loss to Texas Tech in the Sweet 16. That was a game that Arkansas fans will tell you, we had it. We had a great chance to advance one more round, if not to the Final Four.
It was over, and the opportunity slipped through their hands. But this team seems motivated. As you see, a beautiful move on the baseline there by Malik Ewan.
You have Malik Ewan, Malik Thomas, and a host of others. His first bucket as a Hog goes Shody off the mark. Acuff in transition, was in the air for about 5.5 seconds.
You see the concentration of Darius Acuff Jr. able to regather himself in midair and get that ball up on the ring.
Hogs shifting into a matchup zone. The rebound cleared by Brazil.
And that's a tough possession right there for Southern. In a game when you have so many athletes as Arkansas, you have to do a much better job of executing, being more physical with your cuts and screens to get open players freed up.
Quick trigger by Thomas off the mark. We talked to Malik Thomas extensively today at shoot-around, and asked him about where does that confidence. Sweet 16 in the West region. 221 days ago, Knox poured in 20 points in that setback. You just get the sense he's coming into his zone with a young backcourt. What is that going to look like by the time we get to league play in January? Lead back to 11. And over the back goes Seeley.
Southern basketball program and head coach Johnson has them rolling once again.
Good play after the timeout, and the easy layup for Damari Jones.
Now, there's some really good things that you've seen. It's that beautiful finish by Damari Jones, who can finish with anyone down low. Southern is starting to execute and settle down in this game. They put together a string of stops, but it's the execution in the half court that they're going to have to improve on to get back and close the deficit.
There's Richmond, just 2 threes made last year, more effective in preseason. Those 2 exhibition wins, and Ewan was fouled on the way up.
Great design play out of the baseline, out of bounds. And Southern with a pinpointed pass. Damari Jones, the lefty with so much hops, able to finish amongst the trees.
He had some dunks today at shoot-around that were, well, nasty.
I'm telling you. I mean, 6'5", but I'm telling you, he plays like he's 6'10".
Jones just picked up his second personal, and so a breather for Damari, senior out of Bessemer, Alabama. So one thing Cal talked about with us today, that this team in Southern has a lot of its returning production back, plus a couple of new pieces, but a much more experienced squad than what he saw with Cincinnati in the first exhibition victory, and then against Memphis the second time out.
Now, this team is battle tested. They have several returners who have contributed a lot. They've seen a lot of situations, and last year with the depth and what they had on their roster, they would do a lot of platoon substitution. And they would bring a lot of players in, maybe even 5 at a time. So it's early in the season. They're trying to figure out their rotations. But this is a talented team.
Nick Pringle the rebound. Arkansas off and running. Seeley the floater. Off the back iron. Rebound will be grabbed by Oshodi. Brazil Oshodi. Nearly turned it over. Arkansas' schedule, we mentioned it early, features games against all 8 teams from the Elite 8 last year. We mentioned Michigan State coming up next for Game 2 this weekend. And it gets more difficult from there. No disrespect to Tom Izzo's team. We know how tough they're going to be year in and year out. And a foul in transition. And a 16th foul called against the Jaguars.
Not a bad foul there by Jacobs to give up his foul and stop the transition. They've been able to really lock down defensively. No field goals for Arkansas over the last 4 minutes. The defensive stops that you want to see for Southern and makes them take it out on the sideline and earn it.
Richmond in the air, lays it in. Beautiful move. Billy Richmond III, if he gets the offense going, you know he's a lockdown defender in the SEC. Look out.
Phenomenal athlete. When he gets the offensive game going, he'll be hard to stop.
Baseline jumper. Richmond claims it. On the move to Acuff. Back to Richmond. Here we go. And claimed by Brandon Hardy for Southern. Corner 3. McGee on the offensive glass, and not this time. Pringle claims another board. What about the potential of Nick Pringle and what we've seen from him? Baseline J, in and out, and then kicked out of bounds by Brazil. But get me back to Richmond first.
Well, he's added a little bit of a dimension in his game, getting downhill, shows the ability to finish with the extension in the left hand. Beautiful finish around the contact. The offensive package and the confidence in his game, you can see is growing right in front of you. The next possession after the finish, shot the 3 ball without hesitation. He wasn't able to knock that one down, but that's what you want to see if you're Coach Kyle from Billy Richmond III, to shoot those shots without hesitation.
Halfway home here in Fayetteville, season opener for the 14th ranked Hogs. That was a block by Acuff. Now Brazil. Malik Thomas fouled, and that should be a 1-and-1. Hogs in the bonus rest of the way.
The ball caught reaching in on the crossover from Malik Thomas. You know, that's right there is the maturity of Malik Thomas that you see early on. You're in the 6 fouls. The next foul is going to be the bonus. He has to switch with a big on him. He calls the isolation and attacks him and gets downhill, gets the foul, and gets to the free throw line. It's the recognition that like that in the game to understand when to pick and choose your spots that you see from a freshman that's rare.
Funny moment today at shoot-around between Cal and his freshman guard, Malik Thomas. At one point, Thomas indicated that he made a mistake. And he said, "Coach, that was my bad." And Cal ran all the way across the court, gave him the double high five on the other free throw line, saying, "You finally said you did something wrong."
You know, it's a different generation of young guys, you know, but he's got to understand when Coach Kyle speaks, you got to go with what the coach says. But he's learning, and you see they have a beautiful relationship, and he has a lot of trust in his young freshman.
And Malik said, "You know what? He's been recruiting me since I was in the 9th and 10th grade. We've got a great relationship." You have to understand how he coaches, and you can't take it personally, Richard. I think that's a lesson we could all learn.
Absolutely. And you need more of that in the game. You know, I look back in my playing days, the hardest coaches that coached you the hardest is who you learn the most. And it's really those are the coaches that care about you and your game and development to get better as a player.
It was a prideful moment for really both Cal and Malik. Corner 3, in and out. Brazil nearly jammed at home. Thomas is short. Brazil again. How about the ups? And a chance for 3.
My goodness. The second bounce of Trevin Brazil right there to elevate up, pull that offensive rebound with extension and bounce right back up to finish that one with the contact. Look this, fighting around, swim move, goes up high for the rebound, and Poe goes right off the floor through the contact. That is phenomenal.
What is it like to have that kind of vertical with that kind of height?
I'm sorry, my friend. I don't know if I can tell you what it's like, but looking at it, it's spectacular.
Indeed. Lead at 17. Hogs trailed 2-0 early. Since then, do the math. Dixon, elbow, drains it.
Really good turnaround jumper there by Dixon, who's had a promising offseason here with Southern, transferring over from Lamar. There's a lot of ability as a rim finishing big. Will be huge for the Jaguars.
Under 8 to play in the half. Acuff Jr. falling away, silky smooth.
Well, Arkansas starting to find their offensive rhythm. They struggled to find a bucket for a few minutes there. Now they're starting to lock in and getting good screens and creating good avenues to drive down the lane and obviously finishing the shots.
Good crowd on hand for an early start in Fayetteville. Jones. And a shove in the Trix Roy Philpott. And take a look at the SEC men's basketball preseason poll. Gators, defending national champions. Hogs, projected at number 5. Richard, you buying that?
Well, it's a lot of really good teams in the SEC, but I tell you, Arkansas is putting everyone on notice about their ability. They are deep, they are athletic, and they now have some shooters from the outside to complement what they can do on the defensive end. So it's early on in the league, but they're definitely amongst the elite.
I mean, it just is getting started tonight. 14 teams from the SEC made the NCAA tournament last year. That was a record in college basketball history. Wagner, the floater. Cal mentioned to DJ this morning he wanted to see at least 4 floaters.
Yeah, I think in that possession right there, DJ Wagner could have taken that one more step in with his extension and got a little bit closer. And when you have bigs down there like Pringle and Brazil, the other defender has to respect them, so it gives you an alley to lay that up.
Jacobs with the 2 fouls, stuffed in traffic, and a jump ball. The arrow favors Southern.
This is the point right here with 6:50 to go in the first half if you're Southern. You have to try to decide to execute. You see a few plays that are a little bit of hero ball, and you're trying to make individual efforts. But this is where you have to move the ball from one side to the other, maybe get a paint touch and kick it out to get a wide open shot as you're trying to cut into this lead moving into the half.
Corner 3, the foul and a chance for 4. Well, that's one way to get back in it right away. Mike Jacobs, fearless.
Another beautiful execution by Southern on the baseline out of bounds play. And the most dangerous people to guard is the inbounder. Billy Richmond makes a wrong read on a blown coverage, and Michael Jacobs breaks to the corner and makes him pay with the late closeout.
Second foul on Richmond. Jacobs back to the line, just 2 for 6. He shot every free throw so far tonight for Southern. And Brazil to inbounds. 31-18, under 7 to play in the half. Opening night in the SEC. And the games get real serious real quickly when you take a look at all the teams on the slate across the conference beginning this evening, including for the defending national champion Florida Gators. Thomas on a string.
I'm telling you, listen, that was good defense, just better O. And that shows the ability of this young freshman. Southern did a tremendous job of being in the gaps and communicating, but the turnaround, Jay, and the extension by Malik Thomas, fantastic.
The answer on the other end. Oshodi from downtown. Fazil Oshodi, now Southern 4 of 9 from distance. And the lead cut to 12. Brazil, the hesitation.
Southern has had some defensive stops, but this is a situation right here where it's good D and better O. A phenomenal move, beautiful snatch behind the back, and the turnaround, Jay, over 2. Wow.
That's a freshman. Number 1 for the Hogs is a freshman. He doesn't look like a freshman. He doesn't sound like a freshman when you talk to him.
That right there is a major.
Was on Dixon Jr., his first. Thomas from Pittsburgh, Brazil. And we did the research during the last break. You said you didn't have his vertical leaping ability. And the game notes list the vertical jump at 41 inches for the 6'10 senior and the transfer from Mizzou.
Not too many have that type of leaping ability, but I'd love to see from Trevor Brazil in that last possession when he's attacking the rim. You go right through the body of the defender and finish that with a dunk attempt. At 6'10" with a 41.5-inch vertical, there's no reason to try to make an adjustment to go around the defender. That's when you go right. Understand in a situation like this, when you have a talented roster, it's about working your minutes. You know, you're not going to have a situation on a team with this much depth that Arkansas has who's going to play 35, 40 minutes a game. So you have to have the mentality that you come out, if you're playing 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that you're going to have to go full bore through the entire game. So when you see that type of schedule that you're going to go up against, you have to understand that it's going to be elite, and you got to give elite effort throughout the entire non-conference.
McGee, the stuff and the schedule that we reference. How about Michigan State coming up Saturday? Duke, Louisville, Texas Tech, Houston. A lot of numbers on the left side of your screen.
Big-time matchups, and that's what you want as a player. You're going to be playing in the big-time matchups, in the big-time games, and a lot of people watching. That's why it's important that you get yourself in a position where you're giving a high level of intensity and playing to your standard every time you check into the ballgame.
Dixon picks up his second. Darius Acuff Jr. back to the free throw line. Already tonight, 6 points. First free throws of his Arkansas career. couple of rebounds and 2 dimes. Pringle back on the floor. Ewan checks out. I mean, that would get me excited as an Arkansas fan, as a player, as a coach, as a broadcaster. Those would be fun games,
yeah,
right?
They would. It would be. But, you know, from a coach standpoint, if you're Coach Kyle and his staff, it doesn't matter the opponent. You want to see your players come out and execute to their elite level ability regardless, and that's every play, every possession for the entire 40 minutes.
You sound like a coach with that commentary. Poked away and a steal. You are a coach, though. You coach your kids?
Oh, I coach all the youth sports. I'm going to be out there. Soccer, flag football, baseball. I'm on the sideline.
Brazil back iron. Poked out by Pringle. Thomas claims it. Skip pass. Acuff.
There he is again. Darius Acuff Jr. cannot leave him open. The hustle, the ball, Johnny on the spot comes his way, and it finds the hot hand with Acuff.
Jacob stuffed, and McGee on the attack was fouled. Check it, that was Dixon.
That's how you attack the rim with authority if you're Terrence Dixon Jr. and draw a foul. The ball bouncing around on the scramble, and it finds Darius Acuff Jr. He lines that one up for the beautiful tray ball.
College ready, game 1. McDonald's All-American, 5-star prospect, number 7 in the ESPN 100, 13 preseason All-League. You think about that coming into this conference off of a record-setting campaign last year. 14 teams make the dance, and a first-year player named preseason All-SEC from the jump.
Well, I do think the freshmen that come into the league today come in with a different level of confidence. When you don't have as many older players and veteran players that have been in the program for so long, you come in with an expectation to be an immediate contributor. That level of confidence that you have, it will show in your game immediately, because there's an expectation for you to be a big part of what the team is trying to do. So you see these young players here at Arkansas stepping into that role and doing it well early on.
Thomas wants it, takes it, elbow. You kind of felt that's how that was going to shake out.
Well, when he gets you kind of shifting from right to left, you can see he's deadly in the mid-range. When he finishes with that one-bounce pull-up.
Great look. Dixon had it stripped on the way up, and it goes back to the Hogs.
These are one-on-one game moves. I'm in the park, I size my man up, I get to my spot, elevate over the top, and knock it down.
Is he bringing the mid-range jumper back to Bud Walton this season?
I hope so. It's, you know, it's a score shot. You know, a lot with the game is way to play now. You want layups and you want open threes from the team play. As you see Acuff with another and one.
Chance for 3 for number 5, the freshman point guard.
But you got to have shots like that in the mid-range in the money time to get it done.
And just like that, Arkansas extends that lead out to 21. And Acuff Jr. Well, you mentioned it feels like first-year players, especially, you know, the ones that are in the midst of that ESPN 100, they report to preseason camp, and that summer, late in the spring, and they appear to be more ready than they ever have been at any point in the last 30 years or so. And you look at Acuff in particular and Malik Thomas, the weight room box has been checked. The ability to remain cool and calm under pressure, it just seems like that's a given. They don't try to force it, and that's not to suggest they're not going to try those things at various points this coming year, their first season here. But to start in what you saw in the exhibition wins, very little signs of we're going to turn it over, we're going to be ball hogs, we're not going to share the basketball or do our thing on defense.
Right, and you obviously you have to defend. But the way that the game has changed, it benefits the young players. It's more space. It's wide open. You can come in and use the creativity that you naturally have, and you can get out in transition.
Look out, here's Thomas. And poked away. That was guard-to-guard lob, 5-star to 5-star. Southern broke it up at the last minute. Thomas again to Acuff Jr. That's a 3.
There's the example of what I'm saying. The game and now what you play, the freedom that young players are able to have in transition, that builds confidence. Acuff able to take advantage.
How about the block? Outside to Hardy. And the response, it's all net. A big shot there. That'll stop a 13-1 run by the Hogs. And we just mentioned the defensive ability of Darius Acuff Jr. Without hesitation, able to get the rejection. Thomas. And again, another triple. How about a first half for Darius Acuff Jr.? 20 points on the board. And the crowd on its feet. Final possession of the half. Ambery, no. "20 minutes in, 20 points for the five-star freshman, Darius Acuff Jr.
Acuff has shown his ability in the last.
A sensational start with 10 in the first 20. And our second half is underway at Bud Walton.
Pat Bev, that was a name from my era, known for his defensive skills, but people forget his freshman year at Arkansas, he was a phenomenal scorer.
Hogs get it to start. Acuff with an early touch. Let's see if he looks to try to distribute it a little bit more. Brazil got a chance for a three-point play.
There you get a peek of that athlete.
What he just mentioned to you, they've got to share the basketball and make sure they get everybody involved. And the consistent theme we heard about throughout shoot-around with those comments and more, chemistry. And it's about building chemistry as we get towards league play, building chemistry as we get towards March Madness.
And that's exactly what it's about. And when you're on talented championship caliber teams, you have to be unselfish. You understand that the team is deep and everyone can't play the entire game. It's about working your minutes, and starters does not matter. If you're a player, what matters most are if you are on the court in the money time, and that's where you want to be, and that's when you know you're in the good graces of your coach.
Shody, that's another triple, and Acuff Jr. just looked back to Cal. That was a deep shot from the wing. He's been red hot, now in double figures with 12.
Bazillo Shody filling it from the outside with a quick release.
Richmond off the mark. Thomas the rebound. Brazil the pump fake. He scooped it in and out. Abdel Goad with a rebound. Here comes Southern. This was about a 11-point game with 5 to play in the half, and then Acuff happened. That's Mike Jacobs, the runner.
You have to look at how you respond after the last media timeout moving into the half. Those type of moments will make or break you as a team. Southern had made some really good defensive stands.
And Brazil tried to bring down the house against the matchup zone, and a foul was called on the attack.
But the unselfish play of the big-to-big passing, this is going to be a big-time weapon for Arkansas moving forward. You drop it off in the short corner, and there's you and giving it right up. And that's where you want to see Trevor Brazil go right over the top and finish that one with authority and one.
That was going to be SportsCenter top 10, SportsCenter #1 if that connected. And Brazil to the free throw line, 52% of the stripe last year. Drains the first.
That type of connection is a positive thing if you want to see from your coaching staff. It's chemistry developing very quickly, particularly between your two front court players. There might not be a game where you have a situation where your guards are carrying. You're going to have to win some games in different ways, and maybe it's going to be with the interior play. But the chemistry and connection that you can have with passing frontline players is a weapon that is very, very hard to stop.
Hogs 19 of 21 at the free throw line to start a new season. Jacobs with a path and a finish. Now in double figures as well with 10.
Good drive there by Michael Jacobs, able to take advantage of turning the corner, drop the coverage on the pick and roll. Not too good for Arkansas on that last possession. Jacob makes him pay.
Thomas open for a split second. He'll make him pay. He's got 13. That's his second three ball. And Thomas fouled by Richmond. Billy Richmond the third. That'll be his third personal.
Frustrating foul for Billy Richmond. But listen, that's that good action that Arkansas is running right there. You mentioned Southern showing a little bit of a zone look. And what you want to do is you want to get the ball around the perimeter and get two guys on the ball. Arkansas does a good job of relocating, getting to the corner. He knocks it down.
Shody hit the deck, recovered in time. Abdel Goad connects on the dish. And the lead down to 23. Did you make out a list of goals? Like your individual goals? Thomas again, same spot, same result, and something to say about it afterwards. But as a player at Alabama, was that something you did to start a new season?
Well, absolutely. I think for every season as a player, your goal should be to want to get better in every single facet of the game. So you want to look up statistically and see, did you get better at being a better shooter? Did your free throw percentage improve? Did your field goal percentage improve? Did your rebounds per game go up? I think that has to be a measuring stick as a player. And are you more efficient in the minutes that you work? And I think a lot of young players want to be on the court a long period of time. But if you're going to be on a winning team, you got
– look out!
It's a little bit of that 41.5-inch vertical.
Make sure you include the extra half. That's important.
Oh, most
at
definitely.
6'10".
Most definitely.
And a foul inside. Jacobs wanted a chance for 3. Instead, will shoot 2.
You want to see elite athleticism on the breakaway. It's Trevin Brazil going up top for the tomahawk with authority.
Little slam cam for you on opening night. It's always a great shot, no matter what happens. You get that camera right behind the rim. Great angle.
Beautiful look.
Michael Jacobs, 3 of 8 at the line.
And these are frustrating things if you're Southern and Michael Jacobs. You work so hard to see if you can manufacture some offense, and you get to the free throw line and you're not able to capitalize. But these are moments that their Jaguars are going to have to continue to learn from moving forward. They've had moments to make this game a little bit closer, keeping themselves in striking distance. But it's the unforced errors, the missed free throws, the live ball turnovers that have hurt them.
Timeout called by Southern as we step aside. Trevin Brazil, now a senior, started his career at Mizzou. Getting the job done early for the Hogs.
I mean, tremendous athletes playing above the rim.
You said that wasn't your specialty. You got the big hands and long arms. What was the vertical?
It wasn't 40, but I did have a 7-foot, I guess I still do have a 7'3" wingspan, but.
Brazil cleared for takeoff. Missed time the jump on the miss by Wagner from the corner. Jacobs back to the line.
The game has changed in a lot of ways for the better. You know, it's a little bit more of a faster pace, promotion of scoring that you see. The offenses that coaches run allow these athletes to have more space and freedom to create from the outside and get into the paint and kick it out. And when you have the athletes to do that, it really makes it a lot of fun to watch.
Don't forget, coming up next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow night, Gators and Seminoles from the O-Dome. That's up first here on SEC Network at 7 Eastern. Memphis at Ole Miss. What a doubleheader. You got a lot of talent. You got a lot of teams that feel like they're going to have a chance to make runs this season. It's next Tuesday night, a week from tomorrow, right here on the SEC Network and the all-new ESPN app.
Really good lineup of games. Head coach Todd Golden trying to start another run at a repeat after winning the national championship last year in his 3rd season in Gainesville.
Full court pressure now for Southern. And that game against FSU, 2 big rivals, obviously. But Luke Laukson, new head coach at FSU, Brazil nearly brought down the house. Well, that's the 3rd time he's been in attack mode right near the rim and came up just empty. The look in his eye, Richard.
And that's the type of attitude you have to have if you're Trevin Brazil when you're attacking the rim. We talked about it. He's got the haircut. He's got the number change. This kid looks motivated in this year to come out here in his senior season to show the potential that he has. 41-inch vertical. He can shoot from the outside. He's been able to put it on the deck, and here he is in the opener already. 16 points, 8 rebounds so far, and looking to add to it.
You attack the rim with that kind of Ferocity. It takes a second to kind of calm down and collect yourself for the free throws.
See, what you do is you have to attack the rim with that type of authority, because what will happen is the next time the defender will move out of your way. And that's when you start to get the dunks. It's an attitude that you have to have. When you come down the lane looking to punish someone and they take that pain, they're not going to continue to take the hits all night long, and the lane will open up.
McGee for three, not this time. Thomas on the move. Malik Thomas. Brazil lays it in.
Outstanding recognition by Trevin Brazil as he saw that Thomas got that rebound. He put his head down and he sprinted the sideline to get ahead in the break.
And a foul on the floor.
You get to see in the insight from the eyes of these high-level players.
Now, fun to be able to put the camera on both of those guys, and they were more than happy to oblige, showcase some of their talents and skills. A timeout.
And that's excellent defensive execution right there by Arkansas coming out of that break. Southern has been able to pinpoint multiple baskets on their baseline out-of-bounds opportunities. That was a moment right there where John Calipari was able to coach his team up, and they took pride in that moment to see if they could take away the offensive set on the baseline out of bounds. Now here's the chess match. The coaches have been drawing some things up. You have to ask your team, if you're Southern, how can you screen and get a quality shot? And if you're Arkansas, see if you can lean on your defense once again to get better and work in these situations against baseline out of bounds.
I think we could put you in touch with both coaching staffs during some of these timeouts. And they may come and ask you, hey, what would you draw up here, Richard Hendricks? Turnover, Hogs get it back.
Well, I'll tell you the first thing you want to do, you want to draw up to make sure your team is playing with a high level of intensity. And that intensity that you just saw right there by Malik Thomas was high level, which created the turnover. Ball back to the Razorbacks.
That's the coach, ladies and gentlemen. That's the coach. Acuff Jr. is yet to score in the second half after notching 20 points in the first. Thomas catch and shoot. He'll track it down, and then Hardy comes away with it. Off the spin, they'll swing it around the horn. Hardy the floater, short. Who wants a rebound? Nick Pringle does. And tapped out by Hardy.
And this is a good opportunity here for Arkansas. You have control of the game. So many of your points have taken place in transition, taking advantage. You want to see if you can execute. Southern has been playing some good defense, but you want to see after a side out of bounds, can you execute your offense in a half-court set and get a quality shot?
Against the zone, Acuff Jr. Jones clears. You start to think about all the great point guards that John Calipari has coached over time. Go back to his days in Lexington against, rather with the Kentucky Wildcats. It's a laundry list of incredible pros, and you wonder if Acuff Jr. is going to be the next in line. Definitely. We can get into that for a little bit if we want to. Jacobs back at the free throw line, and I just love the critique and the different things that he's going to continue to look at and analyze and coach up, even in a 30-point blowout situation. In a debut where he's gone off, there's always going to be something, and that's the challenge, to continually try to improve, get better, and try to take games over later in the season.
Well, that's the beauty of understanding the perspective of a national champion Hall of Fame head coach. They see potential in their players that the players do not see in themselves, and it's the responsibility of a head coach to try to push his players to see if they can realize that potential and reach the maximum of their ceiling. He understands he has some high talent players here with Darius Acuff Jr., Malik Thomas, and the rest of this roster. But you want to push them to see if they can do the best that they can do.
Think about some of those names for a second. Derrick Rose, John Wall, De'Aaron Fox, Brandon Knight. I mean, SGA falls into that category. The MVP, who looks unstoppable right now for the Thunder. Malik Thomas in the second half has poured in 8 after 10 in the first 20 minutes. But you look a little deeper in the stat sheet, not a lot of turnovers. There's an alley-oop to Nick Pringle. The assists are way up there. Really the second lob we've seen tonight for the Hawks, and perhaps more to come.
And he caught it off the tip as Dixon got a piece of that. To keep that concentration is outstanding. You see as Wagner goes and he gets a little tip, Dixon does, and Pringle with enough hops to keep climbing the ladder.
How hard is that?
Roy, I don't know. I don't go that high. You're going to have to ask someone else who can jump to the top of the square with two hands, catch it after a tip, and dunk it.
To catch the alley-oop off the carom and still dunk it and still have plenty of hang time to execute the play.
Now you see what I'm saying. Trevin Brazile, you catch that in the middle of the post in the zone. A few plays prior, you come with the tomahawk jump. You miss it. Now people are not going to jump with you. It opens up, and you get the wide open slam.
Shake and bake Hardy. The bounce pass in traffic. Too strong. Pringle tried to clear the rebound. Couldn't do it. Bothered the shot by Jones. Hogs will get it back. And meanwhile, Trevin Brazile, with all the scoring we've seen tonight with 21 points, just 2 away from his career high.
It's a great way to start your senior campaign. As he's come out, you can see the focus in his eye.
Say that was tipped and no over and back, according to Joe Lindsay. A lot of knee involved in that play. Brazile kept it high, and the big man finished.
Good fundamentals. Caught that offensive rebound high, kept it high, pogoed backed up, and laid it in with a soft finish.
That's as excited as you've gotten tonight. You love the big man moves.
Because that's the putback the way I would have done it. Now, I definitely would have dunked me a few of them, but you definitely got to show the fundamentals.
First bucket of the second half for the freshman, Acuff Jr. You were first team All-SEC. I know there were moments where there were some posters.
Oh, there's a lot of posters, just not the 41-inch vertical type posters.
Lead back to 30. Hill rejected, high in the air. Brazile tracks it down again, lays it up. That'll tie his career high. Now with 23, or check that. That's a new career high with 25.
Well, you saw he has that athleticism where he can leave his feet. He double clutches, which allows him to collect himself again in air, and he's able to finish with that layup.
Five to shoot. First time we've said that tonight. And Jacobs pinballing around. There was contact and a foul. But DJ Wagner, a little rejection.
So much length, but they get out and running. But look how he double clutches in air and allows him to regain control as he can lay that shot up soft off the glass. As he gets a round of applause from the faithful here in Bud Walton for his contributions on opening night.
I mentioned this to you off air in the first half. This crowd, lower bowl was filled up for tip-off. The student section was packed about an hour before we started things here in Fayetteville tonight. They've been in it. There's a lot of expectations. And quite frankly, Arkansas fans ready to turn the page from football to basketball this year. They're going to be in search of a new head coach. We know what happened middle part of the season. And now in basketball mode, this thing's only going to ratchet up from this point moving forward.
A lot of high expectations last season with John Calipari coming over from Kentucky and not getting off to the start that they thought they were going to in the SEC slate. But this team settled down the stretch. They found their momentum. They have bought into what this coaching staff is teaching, and here they are in year 2, starting to look like the team that this crowd expected to see from the opening tip last season.
DJ Wagner only 5 points so far. And it goes back to Southern. You know, these early games, Cal mentioned it to us, are about figuring out substitution patterns. He mentioned the starting 8 that he has. And they're going to try to figure out what works best from the jump to start the second half. Who's first off the bench? And what makes the most amount of sense, and a chance to experiment some more tonight. On the jump hook, on the spin, and Pringle in pain for a moment. And he's telling Malik Ewan he's okay. Check the teeth, check the nose. Contact there with the face.
Caught one on the block out there from Abdelgawad.
Hogs have 88 points. We got 8 minutes to go.
In early season play, I don't anticipate him going deeper into the bench just yet. I mean, you still have a young team with players who need to get reps. Even though the scores seem to be out of reach, I want to see even a guy like Malik Ewan, who has had a terrific career, start to catch his rhythm with this team and develop to grow his chemistry.
SWAC champions in the regular season a year ago was Southern. A lot of key players back on the roster this season. There's a lob and another finish. Say hello to Nick Pringle. Ashodi splashes home a triple. Hogs the other way. Seeley the Euro.
Transition, getting out. Arkansas after a made basket, coming right back down. But here they are in transition. The Hogs off and running, and they're going up top to Nick Pringle, and he's throwing it down with authority.
Stripe, number 69 in the ESPN 100. 5 points tonight. Arkansas shooting 54%. 8 of 21 from 3. And at the free throw line, I mean, this is encouraging, right? When you start a season hot from the stripe, 22 of 25.
Well, they've been able to get to the free throw line and high clip, and obviously making them pay. And the biggest difference, obviously, with Southern not able to capitalize when they do get the shots, but it's the defensive work of Arkansas that I've been impressed with all night long.
Jacobs came up short. And the rebound and the finish, Abdelgawad.
Good job by Abdelgawad, taking his time, reversing that layup, and not allowing the shot blockers to get to him.
Back to the zone, outside to Acuff Jr. Now Seeley baseline. The rotation, the three off the mark by Wagner. He'll get it back. Let's do it again. And the lid remains on for DJ, now 2 of 9. And 1 of 6 from downtown.
Well, this is one, if you're DJ Wagner, you missed 2 wide open shots, but you cannot let that affect you. It's early on in the season. You've missed your shot. This is when the game ends. You just get back in the gym, continue to work on it, and build your confidence through the work. You can't allow one bad shooting night on the opening night to continue to spill over into the season.
Hog show his zone, and a steal by Seeley. Isaiah Seeley. Bad intentions and was fouled.
And Isaiah Seeley has done some really good things tonight. He's done an outstanding job defensively, being in the right position. But when he gets out in transition, he's made the right decision on multiple possessions coming down. Here he is putting his head down, drawing a little contact, and he's going to go back to the free throw line for 2.
It's a big deal, too, for Cal to keep an in-state kid home, right, from Springdale. It's pretty significant. And as we mentioned, a member of the ESPN 100. Don't forget, coming up this week's SEC Network Saturday football lineup. Up first at noon Eastern, the SkyCast version of the Dogs and the Dogs. Georgia and Mississippi State features the entire game from just above the field. 1 Eastern, SEC Network Plus. Ole Miss and the Citadel later in the day. Auburn, Vandy, Florida, and Kentucky. Right here on SEC Network. All 4 games also on the all-new ESPN app.
Great slate of college football games late in the SEC season.
Do you have a team that you've eyeballed, that you spoke with in Birmingham 2 weeks ago, that you feel like could be a surprise in the conference this year?
Well, I think I'd probably have to start with the surprise of last year, which was Mark Byington's Vanderbilt Commodores.
They're going to be good again, for those that don't know. I agree.
I mean, you just have to believe that the way that he was able to come in the first year, you're picked to be last in the SEC, and you find yourself making the NCAA tournament, and not a bubble team, solidly in. Now he's got a chance to get a few more recruits in on that roster. He's got some more continuity, returning players, Tyler Tanner.